Good evening, I'm Lisa Broom with the CBC Evening News. In our top story tonight, the former central bank governor of Ireland, who is on the island for an upcoming economic forum, believes Barbados can get out of its current economic challenges. Dr. Patrick Hanahan is the Central Bank of Barbados's fourth Distinguished Visiting Fellow. He made the comment during a meeting with journalists in response to a question about countries from Europe with profiles and situations similar to Barbados.
I would be dubious about being too negative. Obviously there are problems, but I would be dubious about being too negative. The problems have solutions and there are best courses of action. And I don't see Barbados I see Barbados as in a situation that it can come out of quite strongly over a period of time.
Meanwhile, Dr. Hanahan also described Ireland's experience with the International Monetary Fund as a positive one. He, however, noted that before engaging any external sources for help, fiscal reforms must begin at the national level.
So we found a way of working with the IMF teams. There were positives from having the IMF people there. They come along every 3 months, and that's, you know, it puts everybody on their toes. They say, you said you'd do this, did you do it? And most of the time we were able to say, yes, we did it, and in fact we're ahead of program. Other times we said, well, actually, we didn't actually manage to do this. And I'll tell you why. We did this and this, and we thought that would work, but it not. We need a little more time on that. They said, okay, that's convincing. Let's make it another 3 months. But they kept everybody on their toes.
Well, Sandoz Barbados has described as important its partnership with the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation. This from General Manager Ferry Seafinger. He was speaking to the CBC after handing over a check to General Manager Doug Hoyt for sponsorship of the Knapsack and BSAC Games. Mr. Seafinger says helping to promote the Games falls into line with the objectives of the Sandoz Foundation, which has managed to raise about $38 million for various causes in each of the countries it operates.
We are also supporting, of course, another event that allows the parents, the children, or parents that cannot attend this event to see it live on television. So it's a big win for us. We're helping the community, as Sandoz always try to do. Sports is involved, and you're a good partner for us.
And Mr. Hoyt agreed about the importance of the partnership between the two entities and the impact it has had on promoting outstanding Barbadians, in this instance, its children.
We have spoken a lot about the future of our athletes. We've spoken about success at future Olympics, and this is the start of that future, because by Sandoz coming on board, we're able to highlight the exploits more and more of some of these youngsters, bring attention to their talent, and by so doing we can capture the imagination of people not just in Barbados but across the region and gain more support and exposure for these youngsters.
Barbados has more to boast about than the record number of long-stay visitors that came to the island last year. According to Parliamentary Secretary in the Tourism Ministry, Senator Irene Sandiford Garner, cruise ship visitor numbers were also up during the period. In fact, she says almost 500,000 more cruisers came to Barbados, contrary to reports in some quarters.
So where we would have welcomed the 600,000 plus airline passengers, Barbados welcomed 594,985 cruisers last year. And this is up 1.4% from the previous year.
Senator Sandiford Garner says overall long-stay visitors showed increases every month during the review period, with the exception of September.
67,000 in December, 62,000 in November, 62,000 in January, and 60,969 in February are peak months, all record-breaking months. November recorded our highest growth at 18.5%, which was 62,802 non-Barbadian visitors to these shores. September, which is generally the lowest month, was also the lowest last year, but it was up 10.5% on September of 2015.
The proposed multi-million-dollar Hayat project is getting some support from independent Senator Professor Sir Henry Fraser. However, Sir Henry believes the stretch, including the Hayat and the immediate surrounding areas, should be negotiated out of the World Heritage Site designation for historic Bridgetown and its garrison. He argues the investment is needed, but it can be done without impacting World Heritage Site status by negotiating with UNESCO.
I have proposed that that strip of land, 1/4 of a mile long, from the road to the sea, which incorporates the old Pierhead proposal, should be delineated out by discussion with UNESCO so that we do not lose our UNESCO's branding. It is, Madam President, a little bit like the preventive medicine of getting financial help rather than waiting for certain things to be taken away. I would not like this to be taken away. I think we should be discussing it.
Sir Henry also says at present Bridgetown is quietly dying despite the efforts of entities like the Barbados Chamber of Commerce and Industry to revive it. He says investment in infrastructure like the Hayat to breathe new life into the city by creating more commercial activity is therefore necessary.
The efforts of the Chamber of Commerce, while very noble, have not been terribly successful, and efforts to revitalize Bridgetown have not gone fast enough. And the Pierhead project, which was mentioned by Senator Worrell, seemed to have been put in file 13 or on a back burner, and nobody quite knows why. But my view, Madam President, is that no city which has the elements of global importance like Bridgetown or Liverpool in the United Kingdom should be made to ossify and not to develop because of the global importance.
Labour Minister Senator Dr. Esther Bayer-Suku has commented on Barbados's latest ranking in the UNDP's Human Development Index. The report, released yesterday, keeps the island as the highest-ranked Caribbean country on the index as one of the best places to live. It places Barbados at 54th of 188 countries. Now, Dr. Bayer-Suku says it affirms the government's position that development isn't only about dollars and cents.
It's not just about growing our GDP, it's not just about keeping our checkbook balanced. It is about ensuring that the quality of people's lives can be maintained and even improved. And year on year we have seen, even in the recession, not massive increases in our HDI, Human Development Index, but year on year we have seen an increase in our Human Development Index even during this recession, because this administration determined that we are more than an economy, we are a society. It's not just about balancing checkbooks.
The Labour Minister also saluted what she says is the resilience of Barbadians during tough times.
It has been a difficult few years, but I want to congratulate the spirit of Barbadians, the resilience of Barbadians, who in spite of the fact that there are those who are trying to tell them that you are dying, you are starving, and you will not live till tomorrow because your belly is touching your back, have instead decided that they will do what Barbadians have done for decades. They will make ends meet, they will provide for themselves and their families, and they have been doing so. We have seen the resilience, the innovation, the creativity of Barbadians.
Government Senator Reverend Dr. David Durant is strongly against comprehensive sexuality education, and he's urging education officials not to allow it into Barbadian schools. He told the Senate he considers it as an assault on the health and innocence of children.
Comprehensive sexuality education programs have an almost excessive focus on teaching children how to obtain sexual pleasure or gratification in various ways, including through masturbation, anal and oral sex, and the list can go on. I don't think this is anything that we want to just force upon our 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds, and even those a little older than that. One of the main goals of the comprehensive sexuality education is to change the sexual norms of society. So that's not anything that we will want to push.
Senator Durant also expressed concern at the rising number of accidents and road fatalities and queried whether any of the road fatalities were the result of drunk driving.
I believe once people know that they will be tested, then I think it will be a deterrent. Not to all, but I'm sure to a significant number. and it may also save a few lives. And that is why I really would encourage it to be done here in Barbados. It's already done in some of our other Caribbean islands.
Local authorities are today one step closer to determining if any tainted corned beef from Brazil has made its way into Barbados. CBC understands that the Barbados Veterinary Services Department received a list of the Brazilian plants involved in the scandal from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs yesterday. It's understood the department is now in the process of reviewing that list to determine if it contains any suppliers for local importers. As soon as that has been completed, the findings are expected to be shared with the public. And 2 more CARICOM countries have banned imports of corned beef from Brazil. They are Dominica and St. Lucia. Dominica's Director of Trade, Mathan J. Walter, says a joint decision has been made following discussions with local stakeholders. Noting that 78% of corned beef imports come from Brazil, he says distributors have been told to remove the products as a matter of caution. Now, a statement from the St. Lucia government has also indicated that corned beef imports from Brazil have been temporarily suspended until further notice. And a power outage has forced the Hampton pumping station in St. Philip offline. As a result, a number of people are without water. The areas affected are the Grantley Adams International Airport, Pilgrim Road, Newton, Lowlands, Kingsland and surrounding districts. The Barbados Light and Power Company Limited is currently working to restore power. The BWA has dispatched tankers to service the affected areas. Well, coming up, a city mall evacuated temporarily. We will tell you which one and why.
Don't let your data experience slow you down. Step up to Digicel, Barbados' fastest 4G network, more than twice as fast as the slow network. Get more with Digicel. Digicel, the fastest 4G network in Barbados. Dial *153# to sign up to Digicel today.
Sandals, sandals, sandals galore. Megville gives you ladies sandals for this week only. Monday to Saturday, any pair of sandals for only $25. So go to Megville on Tudor Street, High Street and Palmetto Street for any pair of sandals for only $25. This week only, Monday to Saturday.
Yo, warm to them! Yo, it's your boy Ricky Diesel. Boom, we have the girl them like a fizzle, shizzle. Friday, March 31st, give me soca, bacchanal on the beach, it's gonna be crazy. Boom, and I'm gonna be there. Freaky girl, that we love. Y'all bend up, you thing on fire. Boom, boom, you thing on fire. Y'all bend on, you thing on fire. Freaky girls, give me soca, bacchanal on the beach, I'm gonna be there. Crazy.
98.1 The One is a proud sponsor of Guinea Soca.
A city mall was evacuated temporarily as a precautionary measure this morning. Fire crews responding to a drill at a nearby bank were called to the Colonnade Mall by employees who reported a weird smell just after 9. The National Petroleum Corporation was called in, and after the necessary checks, it was found there was no gas leak, but rather an electrical issue. It appears the problem involved a burnt-out ballast in one of the lightings. The mall reopened just before noon. With almost 3 months to go before the start of the hurricane season, early predictions are pointing to an average or just above average season. This is according to senior meteorologist with the Barbados Meteorology Service, Clem Williams. He says, however, while predictions are used as a guide, Barbadians should be prepared for anything.
It really only takes one system.
Could be a trough system.
Yeah. Could be a trough system. Could be a tropical storm. It only takes one system of any major significance to disrupt lives and so on across the island.
Mr. Williams was speaking on Morning Barbados to discuss World Meteorological Day being held under the theme Understanding Clouds. He says with the Grantley Adams International Airport being suggested as an international hub, the Met Office remains critical to aviation.
You could imagine if an aircraft is approaching Grantley Adams on descent and some unexpected weather event occurs. That captain or that pilot may not always have enough time to make a correction. And that can be very critical. Same thing with takeoff, right? So, especially within what we call the airdrome environment, weather information is very critical. So what happens is that there is a constant communication between meteorological services and the air traffic services. Right? So I keep telling people, look, when you're in your bed sleeping 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, I have officers going out on my observation deck and making constant observations of the weather conditions.
With the growth of the Barbados Reggae Festival, organizers are looking beyond Jamaica for reggae artists to perform. Director of Fast Promotions, Al Jilks, says the artist pool in that country is waning and something has to be done to supplement what is coming from Jamaica. He says artists can be pulled from other countries not traditionally known for reggae. Mr. Jilks was speaking during a press launch for the event at Digicel's headquarters in Warrens.
Trinidad, for example, has some very significant reggae entertainers. Unfortunately, we don't hear much about them in Barbados because the focus on in our media, especially electronic media, is always on Jamaica, United States, other parts of Europe, Africa, Brazil, and this year you'll be surprised to hear, if you have not heard already, that through a relationship we've built up with a Colombian Airlines, we're going to be having one of the top Colombian reggae groups appearing at Reggae on the Hill.
Director of Marketing at Digicel, Carolyn Shepherd, says the Reggae Festival, which the telecommunications company has sponsored, has grown to become a marquee event on the island's calendar. She says it attracts many visitors from across the globe.
Statistics show that thousands of visitors come to the island every year, specifically to attend the festival's 4 events, while enjoying everything else that Barbados has to offer. This provides significant benefits in terms of foreign exchange and economic uplift. TicketPal's online sales for 2015 and 16 show that more than 5,000 tickets were bought in those last 2 years by attendees from countries like the United States, the United Kingdom, France, Germany, Spain, and Brazil, as well as our Caribbean neighbors like Jamaica, Martinique, Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago, and St. Lucia, among others.
The 2017 Digicel Barbados Reggae Festival, which runs from April 23rd until the 30th, will be officially launched next week. We'll take a break here, but when we come back, news from across the region.